ControlBasis Kit Starter is a downloadable governance package for teams adopting AI coding tools. This top-tier walkthrough shows the buyer journey from package structure to a concrete implementation record, while keeping the public promise precise. The core risk is not simply that engineers use artificial intelligence. The risk is unmanaged AI-assisted change. Teams need to know which tool changed what, whether sensitive paths were touched, which evidence was reviewed, and who approved the decision. The package structure follows the adoption lifecycle. A buyer starts with a file index, completes intake, adapts policy, uses checklists and operating procedures, records decisions in registers, and rolls the workflow out to engineering teams. The implementation example uses a fictional identity service team. A developer uses an approved AI coding assistant to refactor session expiration behavior. Because authentication logic affects account access, the change follows the high-risk path. The first implementation artifact is intake. The team records repositories, sensitive paths, approved tools, data considerations, and required approvers. This turns broad governance language into a workflow specific to the buyer's environment. Next, the team defines protected paths. Authentication, payments, infrastructure, and deployment automation receive higher scrutiny. Documentation changes stay lower risk, and test changes inherit the risk of the feature they support. The pull request checklist then becomes the operating record. It captures AI assistance, tool and human initiator, protected path trigger, tests reviewed, security notes, and the independent approval required before merge. The approved tool register keeps the AI toolchain controlled. It records allowed use, restrictions, owners, and tools that are not approved. This prevents informal side approval from becoming the real process. When something deviates from the expected path, the exception register records the decision. In this example, an unavailable dependency scan is paired with a reason, an approver, a compensating control, and a short expiry. The evidence package links the final merge decision back to the checklist, focus test summary, security notes, approval record, exception row, rollback consideration, and follow-up ticket. Rollout materials turn the workflow into team behavior. Managers can explain approved tools, AI-assisted pull request marking, checklist completion, sensitive path escalation, and exception recording. A realistic adoption sequence starts with owners and intake, then protected paths and policy adaptation, then a pilot on selected pull requests, then scenario exercises and rollout, followed by ongoing register maintenance. The checkout boundary stays narrow. The public lane is starter only, with a one-time launch price, downloadable templates and workflows, no hosted software availability claim, and no certification claim. The buyer leaves with a concrete baseline: intake record, protected path model, AI pull request checklist, approved tool register, exception register, rollout announcement, and readiness checklist. The final point is deliberate. This is a practical starting point for AI-assisted pull request governance. It is not legal advice, not certification, not an audit representation, and not a guaranteed outcome.